Underway, as is Senator Tom Cotton. Senator Cotton, welcome to the Hugh Hewitt Show. Good to speak with you.
Good morning, Hugh. Great to be on with you.
I'm sure you enjoyed the win over Alabama last night on behalf of the Clemson Tigers, because nobody can root for Alabama in good conscience, right?
Well, it certainly was an exciting game, I'll say that.
Okay. Senator Cotton, your colleague and friend Mike Pompeo's hearing has been postponed today. You're a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee. Is there any problem that you see in his confirmation as CIA director?
None at all, Hugh. Mike Pompeo has the widespread respect of members of both parties on the Senate Intelligence Committee. We postponed his hearing by one day simply as a courtesy to some of our colleagues, both Republican and Democrat, given the number of confirmation hearings occurring on Wednesday. So Mike's hearing will occur on Thursday, and I think there's a strong chance that we could have a confirmation vote for Mike on January 20th, the day of the inauguration. And I look forward to supporting him, and I look forward to working together with him for many years to help keep our country safe as he moves out to Langley.
Well, that is terrific news. Now, you are also a member of the Armed Services Committee. That means you have General Mattis coming before you. Any idea at all of conflicts there? And by the way, there's a report this morning that he may be keeping Bob Work as his deputy Secretary of Defense. A lot of people are looking for a Republican in there. What do you think of both of those stories and of the confirmation process?
So I don't anticipate General Mattis will have any hiccups either. Now, for him, there's a two-step process, Hugh. There is a federal law that says the Secretary of Defense needs to be off of active duty for 7 years, and General Mattis has only been out for about 3 years, so we'll have to pass a new law, which I anticipate will vote on Thursday or Friday in the Senate, and hopefully the House will do so promptly as well. And then we'll have his hearing on Thursday as well, and then I think we'll probably again try to confirm General Mattis on January 20th. I've heard reports actually for weeks that General Mattis might retain Bob Work as the deputy. You know, this is similar to what Barack Obama did with Bob Gates as the secretary. I do hope that in due time that General Mattis can find a new and Republican deputy, just like he finds Republican undersecretaries and assistant secretaries, not to be partisan, because the Department of Defense is largely nonpartisan. I mean, it's not, say, the Department of Labor or the Department of Commerce. But it is important that both parties have experienced defense professionals. And for 8 years, Democrats have been running the Pentagon. And the people that run or the people that serve in the deputy assistant positions or the special assistant positions, Hugh, today are the ones who 2 or 3 presidencies from now will be the secretaries and the deputies and the undersecretaries. So it is a needful and healthy thing that we have a rotation in power at the Department of Defense, so both parties develops its bench of defense professionals.
Now, I have great respect for Mr. Work. I've been told he's a great Marine, a great undersecretary, deputy secretary, but General Mattis is himself nonpartisan, and there is, to me, an element of needing the Republican theory of defense to be brought in there. And there are people like Jim Talent who are not, who are actually beloved on the Democratic side for their integrity, if not for their ideas, and would get through in a hurry. So I hope someone comes along. Let me play for you, if I could, Senator, an exchange I had with your colleague across the aisle, Senator Chris Murphy, yesterday, talking about the Reid rule. So Harry Reid changed it vis-a-vis the nominee. Straightforward question, Senator Murphy. That precedent has not yet been applied to a Supreme Court nominee, but it is clearly applicable, is it not?
The precedent, yeah, I mean, I think the precedent of changing the rules in the middle of the Congress, right, was the basis on changing the number from 60 to 50 for presidential appointees. So I assume that precedent still holds. You can argue against it for policy grounds, but I'm not sure that the precedent changes in this Congress. So,
Senator Cotton, there was a pause there after I asked the question, but Senator Murphy was honest. There's a precedent. Are you surprised by his candor?
Well, no, it's well said by Chris. I don't want to get too far in the weeds of Senate procedural rules, Hugh, because I don't want your listeners turning the dial to the right. But I will say that you've been right on this issue for a long time now. The so-called Reid rule is not the vote threshold for lower court nominees and executive branch nominees. The Reid rule is about how the rules can be changed outside of regular processes in the Senate. He appealed a ruling of the chair, which has been a simple majority vote, and they changed the standard by which we confirm nominees. That applies not just to what he did. It could apply to a Supreme Court nominee. It could apply to any rule of the Senate in reality. That's why it was so destructive, because in just a simple majority vote, you could change what in some cases have been Senate rules since our founding, when the rules themselves say you're supposed to have a 2/3 vote. But Chris is right. The Reed rule is about the way the rules can be changed by mere majority. Now, I hope and I actually expect that many Democrats will ultimately support Donald Trump's Supreme Court nominee when that nominee is announced, in no small measure because 10 of those Democrats are running for re-election in 2018 in states that Donald Trump won.
And I hope you're absolutely right on that. But Senator Cotton, very quickly, in terms of repeal and replace, we have about 30 seconds. Do you think that we have to do them both at the same time? I'm a little worried about this delay. You'll never get 60 votes for replacement.
Hugh, I wouldn't say it necessarily has to be on the same day, but they have to be, in relatively close proximity, in a number of weeks or months. We can't wait for years to try to fix the healthcare system and all the problems that Obamacare has caused.
Senator Tom Cotton, great to talk to you, Senator. I'll be right back, America.